happy new year and happy week 148 weeks that I have been reporting on the real estate market. I've got little boo-boo here with me because, well, there's still some holiday time for the little ones. So if you're new here, we have been tracking the Toronto real estate market since March of 2020, every single week reporting on very specific communities. And if you click on the link that's in the description, you can see what communities that we're following. And you can read specific numbers like average price, median price, average days on market, months of inventory. Did I say days on market? I think I said days on market already. I did, right. So we can talk about the communities there, but make sure you click on the link in the description to do that. So in this specific week, I wanted to talk a lot about months of inventory, listing supply in general. Yeah, we're counting on our fingers. Good. I wanted to talk about power of sale properties again, careful. And I wanted to talk about mortgage defaults and all of these things and how they all contribute to the market's health and overall buyer or seller experience. So I don't have the actual polished copy of the blog yet because it's just being edited by our team at the moment. But just to run you through some of the things that I was going through, let's talk about power of sales real quick. Last week, I did a post about this as well because there were a lot of like TikTokers and people on Twitter and in other places that were talking about the extreme number of power of sales that were on the market. Some were saying there were 30, some were saying there were 40, some were saying there were 50. When I ran the numbers at that time, I found 22, and running the numbers again today, I found only 8 of them. The other ones have been either removed from the market or sold. And of those 8, one of them was sold conditionally in the entire market of Toronto. So once again, although there are more power of sales right now than there normally are, this is really not a thing that is signaling some sort of market trouble. In fact, we have fewer power of sales right now and fewer people in default right now than there were in 2008 after that whole situation. So we'll see how the rest of the year unfolds and how unemployment kind of plays into all of this. But right now, it is not something that I'm alarmed about. It's not something that I'm going to say, see, look, I told you this is what's happening. We know it's happening. It happens all of the time. It's happening a little bit more than it normally would happen. But again, nothing that I am super concerned about at the moment. But again, it's something that we are totally watching. The one thing that I did notice this past week is there were only 12 condos sold in the urban markets. Last year at this time, there were over 40. Aside from that, everything else pretty much matched what happened last year during the holiday week. So don't pay too much attention to average prices and things like that this week, because really it does not matter because it's a holiday week. It's not how things normally go down. What's really going to matter is what happens on the 25th of January when we have the next rate announcement. And I talk a little bit about that on the blog, so make sure you get in there and read it. But in general, if we do have a basic 25 basis point increase on the 25th of January, things should kind of continue as they have been right now. But if we're surprised with a mega raise on the 25th and an announcement that the increases are going to continue in the coming months, that should take away a lot more buyers from the market, and it's not going to be a fun time for a lot of sellers who need to sell. Does that mean that prices are going to tank? Not necessarily. We have to watch listing supply very, very carefully. So I want to talk about listing supply, but condos really specifically. There was this Globe and Mail article that went out yesterday, and generally it was fine, but they talked about how there are 32,000 condos in Toronto that are going to be in occupancy in 2023. That's a lot of condos. But what they failed to tell you is that they have used just the general marketing data, statistics, whatever the developers said they were going to complete their project in whenever they sold it, 2016, 2017, 2018, all those projects had completion dates around 2023. Now, the article uses those estimated completion dates as actual completion dates. So we do not have 32,000 condos coming online in Toronto this year. We have a lot of them, that's for sure. But remember, the way pre-construction works is that these units are all sold before a shovel is in the ground. Now, for sure, because of what's happening with interest rates and unemployment, etc., yet unemployment is still not something to be overly concerned about. But people will not be able to close on some of these condos. But when you're talking about a market that is so undersupplied, that is still okay. It's not going to create an environment where the market all of a sudden is flooded with thousands of condo listings, as this article would have you believe. That's just not realistic. What is realistic is that the majority of these original condo purchasers can still afford the condo, so they will close on it and they'll move into it, or they'll rent it out. Simple as that. There is no other truth here to pay attention to. There could be some sort of economic catastrophe that just absolutely wipes out everybody's, ability to fund these purchases, but that's not a realistic position, and it's not one that I kind of make my financial decisions on day to day. So really, there aren't 32,000 condos coming online this year. There are thousands, as there are every year. I've got one closing in April. I'm really excited about it. But aside from that, there is really no drama there. So what else did I say I was going to talk about? Oh yes, I was going to talk about mortgage defaults. And again, I talked about this a few weeks ago, and there were, if you looked at Ontario's data, of the over 2 million mortgages that exist in Ontario, 1,318 of them are considered to be in default, meaning they've missed payments. Does not mean they're going to be in power of sale territory. They've missed payments, and that's what we're talking about here. So that's 0.06% of all the mortgages in Ontario, and that's as of September. As we get updated numbers, for sure that's going to increase. But Ontario, and Toronto specifically, has the lowest mortgage default rate in all of the country. 200% fewer defaults today than this time in 2008. And I'll link to that in the blog, so make sure you're hitting the link in the description. So there are so many little news pieces out there that are creating so much anxiety unnecessarily. Like, we are not in a comfortable market for sellers right now. But if you're a buyer and you understand that this is a long-term game, you are in a great spot. The only part that sucks about being a buyer right now is there's literally nothing for you to choose from. I reran the months of inventory numbers for all the communities. Links in the comments again in the description, so you can click through and read them all. There is absolutely nothing for buyers to buy out there, which is why you see the average days on market number increasing so much, because people are just scooping up existing inventory that was previously deemed undesirable because there's always something newer. So anyway, buyers are not having as great a time as some would lead you to believe. In the resale market, in the assignment market, completely different story. So I really would encourage you to go through the blog. I put a lot of work into this every single week to kind of really break it all down. And I don't want you to look at it just because I put a lot of work into it. Obviously, that makes no sense. It's actually really good quality information. And I would really love to hear your comments on all of this too. So I'm not going to really, we're not going to end it right there just yet, because I wanted to show you, not you, I wanted to show some people. So about this power of sale situation, like I said, there's only 8 of them in the entire Toronto area. So 8 listings of the 4,667 available listings, so 0.17%. So just want to really drive home the message that we're talking about really small numbers. These anomalies, I don't even want to say anomalies, these occurrences that happen in every single market, whether it's a strong seller's market, strong economy, weak economy, whatever, these things are always there. They're just being highlighted now because they get clicks. People like to read through these things, and some people kind of love to be in that miserable place, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, but there's so much more to be happy about out there. So let's just leave it there. I want you to read through this blog. I want to read your comments. This one's actually one of my shortest ones ever, but I think I've said enough. So let's get your comments on the YouTube video here, and I would love to hear your feedback. Look out for next week, same time, same place. We'll see how many listings hit the market. Going to be keeping a close eye on that, and talk to you soon. Bye.